Assalamu alaikum. My name is Habiba Islam, roll number 137, and we are presenting the economic condition of our country. And this is my team's profile. So, coming up next, here we can see three major problems facing the economy of our country. So, first of all, inflation. Inflation is a persistent problem in Bangladesh. With the cost of living continuing to rise, the economy has been facing inflation rates due to various factors, including an increase in food and fuel prices, a growing demand for goods and services, and a weak currency. The rate has put a strain on the purchasing power of the population, especially those with lower incomes. The second problem is instability. Bangladesh's economic condition is characterized by instability, with factors such as political instability, natural disasters, and a lack of proper infrastructure leading to economic challenges. The third problem is IMF debt. Bangladesh has a history of borrowing from the International Monetary Fund (IMF) to address its economic challenges. So, coming up next, so here we can see a broad description on the inflation in Bangladesh. So inflation has been a persistent issue in our country, affecting the country's economic growth and the well-being of its population. The rise in food and fuel prices, a growing demand for goods and services, and a weak currency are among the factors contributing to the inflationary pressure. The government's attempts to control inflation have included measures such as increasing the supply of essential commodities and controlling the price of certain goods. However, these efforts have been limited in their effectiveness. So, coming up next, we can see a chart showing the inflation over last 1 year. So as we can see that the inflation rate is increasing day by day, and the gradual increase is very dangerous for our country. So at last we can see the aftermath, which includes costful inflation, rise in the cost of import, food, fuel, and feed price have been rising significantly. The fourth one is remittance, which has been fell by 14% in 2022. And the last one, reserve declined. So these are the main items that has provoked the inflation in our country. So lastly, we can say that the lower class people or the people with low income are facing much more difficulties rather than any other people in our country, as they are dealing with they are below the poverty line, so they are not able to buy their essential commodities. So that's all from my side. Now my teammate will continue. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Ramisa Tasnim, Oyshe, bearing role 187, and I'll be talking about the instabilities and the reasons for this for our country. So, the first of poverty and inequality. Bangladesh still has a high levels of poverty and income inequality, with approximately 20% of the population living below the poverty line. The country also ranks low on the Human Development Index. Second off, we have limited diversification of the economy. Bangladesh's economy is heavily dependent on the garment sector, which accounts for 84% of the country's total exports. This makes the economy vulnerable to external shocks and limits opportunities for other sectors to grow. Infrastructure constraints. Bangladesh faces significant infrastructure constraints, including inadequate power supply, poor transportation networks, and limited access to water and sanitation facilities. This limits productivity and competitiveness and increases the cost of doing business. Then, low human capital. Despite significant improvements in education, Bangladesh still faces challenges in developing human capital. The quality of education remains low, and many young people lack the skills needed for the labor market. Then comes political instability. Bangladesh has a history of political instability with frequent strikes, protests, and violence. This creates uncertainty and disrupts economic activities, particularly in the manufacturing and service sector. And lastly, we have environmental degradation. Bangladesh is highly vulnerable to the impact of climate change, such as floods, cyclones, and sea level rise. The country also faces challenges in managing natural resources and reducing pollution, which can have negative impacts on the economy. Now, my fellow teammate will continue the rest. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Tasfia Anika bearing role 154. I'll be talking about IMF debt. The embattled foreign reserves of Bangladesh is finally set for some respite after the International Monetary Fund approved a loan of 4.7 billion for the country. The loans are to be given in over a 42-month program to help preserve macroeconomic stability, protect the vulnerable, and foster inclusive and green growth. Bangladesh will about 3.3 billion under the extended credit facility and the extended fund facility and about 1.4 billion under the resilience and sustainability facility. Besides, there will be an immediate disbursement of about 476 million as the first of the 7 installments over 42 months. The remaining amount will be in 6 equal installments of 704 million each. Next slide, please. Pros and cons of IMF debt. The good side is applying for an IMF debt can be seen as a show of accountability and a dedication to dealing with economic problems and reestablishing stability. The bad side is applying for an IMF loan can be viewed as a sign of weakness and a lack of fiscal stability, which can be detrimental to a nation's reputation. Now, my fellow teammate will continue.
Hello everyone, my name is Rakibul Hasan Rana, and today I will be talking about the uh, solutions of this problem. At first, we're going to start by improving governments, as the government can improve and monitoring the market to reduce corruption. Then the government should reduce inequality. It can be done by making sure the education for everyone and healthcare. Then promoting exports, which can balance with imports and attracts the foreigner to invest in our country, and which can also increase foreign reserve. Reducing poverty, it can be done by creating more job opportunities in the country's market. Then improving infrastructure like road supply, energy supplies, telecommunication, etc. Addressing unemployment can be done by investing on the lower class of the people of the country. Then increasing access to finance for everyone, uh, for the small business and medium business. It can also create a huge opportunity for the people to find their jobs. So that was all about from our team Beta. Thank you so much for watching.